Pathmonk is the AI for website conversions. With increasing online competition, over 98% of website visitors don't convert. The ability to successfully show your value proposition and support visitors in the buying journey separates you from the competition online. Pathmonk qualifies and converts leads on your website by figuring out where they are in the buying journey and influencing them in key decision moments with relevant micro experiences like case studies, intro videos, and much more. Stay relevant to your visitors and increase conversions by 50% by adding Pathmonk to your website in seconds. Let the AI do all the work and increase conversions while you keep doing marketing as usual. Check us out on pathmonk.com. Hey everybody, welcome back to today's episode of Pathmonk Presents. Today we're joined by Barry Rosen. He's the principal at WSI. Barry, welcome to the show.
Hey, great to be here. Thanks, Rick.
Great to have you, Barry. And I want to start about talking about WSI, obviously, and understand what's the big idea behind your company, your branch, if you will. And if you were explaining it to someone, to a friend over coffee, let's say, how would you describe what you do exactly?
Yeah, basically what I do at WSI Digital Marketing is help mid and small size businesses turn that chaos into clarity. And we use AI powered marketing. So think about smarter SEO, sharper ad campaigns, and systems that actually convert leads and not just chase clicks. So, we're driven by over 25 years of growth worldwide. And I bring that experience to the Houston entrepreneurs who are ready to scale faster, work smarter, and outthink their competition.
Okay, I love it. I love it. You definitely have that down, Barry. So I want to ask you about the people you work with, right? And again, as I said, people. Of course, there's businesses, industries, verticals that I'm sure you work with. But where do you feel your services really shine, and what kind of people do you work with?
Yeah. I love that question because, as a business owner myself, part of what we do when we're looking for customers is we're qualifying them and we're looking at, do we want to work with that person as well? So for me, my background is, I have a global perspective on enterprise and marketing and SaaS. So I like to work with people who understand their numbers in their business, have a growth mindset, and then understand the power of marketing, but just don't have the time or the expertise to execute and need a valued partner who can help them achieve their business goals. And so that's what I do. I go in and I understand, who are they? What is their target audience? What is the goal that they're trying to achieve? Is it get more leads? Is it grow revenue? Is it build a brand? Is it launch a new product? And then based on that, with my toolkit of digital marketing tools, whether that's SEO, paid advertising, social, you know, uh, an ad campaign, whatever it is, then I can decide what is the best tactic to achieve that outcome that they're trying to achieve. So my thing is I want to think strategically for my customers. And so I'm looking for customers that have that kind of mindset. And a lot of times customers, they think they know social media, they think they know SEO, they think they know PPC, but I'm looking for someone who's also willing to learn and to grow as well, and then to work together as a team to achieve those goals.
Okay, I love that you brought up tools, right? Because my next question was going to be more about the role that your website might play in all of this. Because I'm sure there's a lot of word of mouth. That typically that's how it is, right? When you work well, people will talk about you. Even when when you don't work so well, and that's that's the double-edged sword of word of mouth. But if you do your job right and your customers, your clients rather, are happy with what you do, then you'll get referrals, right? Now, what does your website say, and how much of a role does it play in pulling in new clients?
Yeah, so I use my website for SEO purposes as well. So my website is very heavily worded on the local market. So it's like local Houston, Texas, AI. SEO, PPC. So that is kind of what the focus of my website is. And it does pull in a lot of searches. What I also do is the other channels that I use for lead generation is presenting. And so I go to a lot of conferences. And so I do a lot of education on AI in general. And then lately I've been focused on AI and SEO and the changes to try to educate people of like how people are using LLMs for their searches versus Google, and then how they can take advantage of that. So that's kind of what I'm seeing the strength of the websites too, and then helping customers educate customers on how they can use that, and then also not abandon the SEO work that they've done, but augment it to capture the new AI traffic as well. So those are kind of the lead. And then what I do is when I speak, I also have a QR code with a link to my website, a link to my LinkedIn, and then I have ebooks, free downloads, lead magnets like that. That when people fill that out, that goes into my CRM. So those are all just sources where I go. And my CRM is also connected to my website. So when someone goes to my website, I can see how many visits they've been and what pages they've
Mm.
been to, and then I can also see the forms that they filled out from there as well. So it's all connected.
Yeah, but I mean that's sounds like a pretty smart strategy, and it sounds like you know what you're doing, right? Now, you're mentioning these resources, right? Your ebooks and a few other things. Um, And I want to understand a little bit more about, from your experience working with clients and for yourself, what actually makes a website convert. And if you can share any tools, any tactics, frameworks, even if you will, that have worked wonders for you, as well as the things that you just mentioned, maybe that would be great.
Yeah, so the first thing that you want to start with is the top of the funnel is just getting the clicks to the website. So that's kind of where we start. Then once we're getting the volume of clicks, then we'll do the CRO and we'll look at how can we optimize those clicks and how can we optimize those conversions. And so what we'll look at is how's the website performing, number one. How does it perform on a mobile device as well? Those are two very important factors because a lot of people will bounce if they come to a website and it's just non-performant, or it takes too long to load, or it's really busy, or there's too many things going on the website. We really try to simplify it and really clarify what is the call to action. Is it a book now? Do you want them to call? What are you trying to get them to do? Are what is the action that you're trying to get the customer to do? And then we want to make that very clear and simple and reduce any friction around that. So generally what we'll do is put a button on the web page, and we'll make sure that it's sticky. So when you're scrolling up and down, it stays, it's on every page. Those are minor things that we can do. And then we'll look at the form. If there's too many fields in the form. I had a customer that is a SaaS company, and we were doing some looking at their full funnel, and we saw a lot of people would start the form, but they were just asking too many questions in that initial form. And I said, hey, let's just simplify it. What can we make optional? Can we just make the majority of these questions optional rather than required? And that started to help their conversion rate as well. And I'm like, hey, just get them in your contact system, and then you can ask some of those questions once you get them into your funnel to set up a demo or to you know talk to them about your solution. But to get the contact, to get that initial you know conversion, we need to reduce the friction there. So those are some tactics as well. So we're tracking all of those. We look at how many page views, which page views, how long are they spending? Are they going to the form? Are they starting to fill out? And then how many are they submitting? So we're looking at that entire kind of flow of the funnel and just trying to reduce any friction around that. And then obviously, any kind of search engine optimization. So we're doing the front end and the back end. So making sure that it's performant and it's got the content. So when people search, that it's coming up. So those are kind of the things that we'll do.
Yeah, that's a great approach, I would say. I love the emphasis on the UX, right? So it's not just about optimizing for marketing and all, which is obviously great, but at the same time, like what's the experience like for the person on the other end, right? So if the form is too long, can I make it shorter? Can I take out a few fields? And if I'm looking for a CTA, it's always excuse me, it's always sticky there. What can I do, right? So,
And oftentimes, what I'll do is I'll ask the business owner or the sales leader to go through the process themselves, like pretend like they're a customer, go to their website and do that, and then go to a competitor's website and then compare the experience. So that way they can see what the customer is going through so that they understand the flow of that themselves. And it's not just a conceptual thing where we're talking in a meeting about, oh, the form or the clicks or the CTA. I want them to kind of experience that for themselves and put themselves in their customer shoes and go through that process.
okay, that's as I said, great approach, and I love the thought behind it. Right now, I want to switch gears for a second, Mary. I want to talk about you as a leader, and I want to ask you a few questions. Um, we try to keep things, obviously professional and relevant and contextual, but at the same time, we want to know more about you, what you do on a daily basis. So the next few questions will be more rapid fire style, if you will,
Sure.
and I'll just understand a little bit more about you. Is that okay?
Let's do it.
All right, sweet. So, what are the three main things that you focus on a typical workday?
Yeah. So the first thing that when I wake up, I'm kind of just going through project updates. So mostly in the morning is a lot of project management. So status updates. Is there anything outstanding that I need to do? Is there anything outstanding that my customers need to do? After that's kind of completed, then I'll kind of focus a little bit on social engagement. So I'll go to LinkedIn. I'll look at other people's posts, I'll comment, I'll connect with people. So I do that a little bit as well. That's part of my sales process. Then typically I do try to do a couple of networking events per month, not very many, but like a couple. So that's something where I can just go out and talk to people and meet people in a casual setting and talk. Really, what I do is I approach them and ask them about their business and what are their pain points, and then if it's something that I can help with, I'll introduce myself as what I do. If not, move on. And then also the other thing is I look for speaking engagements and other opportunities like that. So I'm looking to speak. So, for example, next week, which will be in the middle of November, I'll be in San Jose speaking at the DigiMarcon conference on AI and agentic search. So that's the other thing that I do. And then also just talking to my customers as well. So I'll meet with my customers on a regular basis, my existing customers. So a lot of times what I'm doing is checking in. How is their business going? What's the quality of the leads? What is the feedback that they can give me? Because I don't just want to show them dashboards where, hey, this is how many clicks you got. My thing is to understand, like, how are they feeling as a business owner? What is their temperature? What are their pain points? Are we helping? How can we help? How can we add value to what we're doing? So those are the things that I'm doing and I'm thinking about. So it's kind of in three ways. It's working existing project, looking at sales for future projects, looking at opportunities for generating leads, and then dealing with existing customers and making sure that they're happy and that their projects are going smoothly, and making sure that they're getting the results that they're paying for.
I love that you spend a lot of, there's a lot of FaceTime there, right? Whether it's through speaking or visiting clients, you got that connection, right, with people. It's not just behind a screen. So kudos to you, because I think that's kind of a lost art in a way, but it makes a huge difference. So
What I find is with the small owners, especially the local owners, it is a huge difference because they're getting inundated all the time by agencies from all over, from global. And a lot of times they just want someone to put a face to a name. And if they want to have a coffee, we can go and do that. If they want to meet on Zoom, we can do that. I can go and visit them in their local business. And I think they appreciate that. It's just nice to know that there's someone that if they need, they can either pick up the phone or we can meet locally or just jump on a Zoom call, whatever is convenient for them.
Yeah, absolutely. This might be peculiar, but let's try it out. So, if you had a magic wand, Barry, and you could fix one frustrating thing in your marketing life with tech, what would it be?
So is it my marketing life or is it kind of in my business? I would
Well, it could
say
be for
like,
your clients too, right? What you
yeah.
see as as a recurrent problem.
Yeah, well, so for me, when I'm talking to smaller business owners, it's just about kind of understanding their numbers and really understanding their business fundamentals. And, because when you're talking to a entrepreneur, maybe they're an expert in plumbing or they're a baker, but they don't know their numbers or their marketing. So if there was a tool where it could really just easily display, like, here's what your gross is, here's what your recommended marketing budget should be. Those are questions that a lot of people ask me. I'm asking, like, what is your budget? Well, what should it be? Well,
Mm.
haven't you thought about that? Like it should be a certain percentage of your gross. Well, have you, I haven't thought about that. So just for the small business owners, just a little bit deeper understanding of their business and then the value of marketing. I think they understand it, but they having never really seen or dealt with it themselves and just kind of trying to do things here and there and maybe not had very much success. That's where I can come in with my expertise and really show them, that, hey, this does work when a professional is doing it. Just like I wouldn't try to fix my own toilet if it's leaking, I would call a plumber. If you're a plumber, and you probably should not try to be doing your own social media, or running that. Like focus on your business and I'll focus on helping you grow your business with the things that, I know how to do.
Yeah, no, that's that's a great example, and it shows to the level of care that you have, for your clients too, right? So you're asking the right questions, making them think, as opposed to, I'm just going to teach you. They also get on board with it. You get their buy-in in that sense, right? So um, that's
A
a
lot of
really
times
interesting
when
approach.
someone asks for something, my first question is, why do you want this? Not that it's right or wrong.
Right, right.
I want to understand why they want that and what their goals are, right? Because they'll come
Yeah.
at me. I saw someone do this. Can we do this? Well, why do you want to do this? Do you think it'll work
Why?
for
Yeah.
you? And then, hey, if I agree, we'll do it. But I just want to understand what is the outcome that they're trying to achieve versus the tactic that they saw that someone else is using.
Yeah, of course. Well, Barry, look, I love the gem so far, and I want to thank you as we wrap things up. I want to thank you for being on
Sure.
the show with us today. I also want to give
Thank
you the
you.
last word. So,
Yeah.
if someone forgets everything about the interview today,
Yeah.
what is the one thing they should remember about your company?
Yeah, I'm going to give a little two things actually. So, and we didn't really get too much into the AI aspect of what I do, but about the company is that look, at the end of the day, it's all about the human at the end of the chain, right? So we want to embrace digital but remain human. That's kind of our motto, right? So we are going to use AI tools. We're going to use that to help you, but there's always a human in the loop, and that's us. And we're making sure that your best interest is always in mind, not just relying on AI or other tools. And then the second little gem is from an AI perspective, because we also do AI consulting. Just from a small business owner perspective, when thinking about AI in your business, I think most people think about how I can save time operationally using AI, like I can, reduce the time to do a certain thing. I think the other flip thing that I've been trying to impress on my customers is use AI to analyze the data that you have about your customers so that you can come up with new offerings, new products, or features or services that will solve your customers' problems because you already have all of that data because you're so close to them. So use AI to create new value within your business as well as saving money operationally. So that's kind of
Mm.
the mindset flip that I want to impart to my business owners and my customers is, hey, we're not just focused on using AI to like um, you know, record a meeting for you so you don't have to take notes or automate a process. We're focused on how can you take the data that you have and then turn that into value, both for you as a business and then provide that back to your customers.
But I think that's great. That's certainly how we approach AI here at Pathmonk, and how we use it for conversion rate optimization. So, love to hear that from you as well in a way that you care for your clients. So that's amazing. Barry, if someone wants to get involved in that, wants to get the AI consulting, or maybe wants to work with you on a different capacity, how can they do that?
Yeah, reach out to me on LinkedIn, or on my website. On LinkedIn, there's a link to my directly to my calendar. So schedule a free 30-minute consultation. We'll chat about either digital marketing or AI, and then we can come up with a plan and decide if we want to move forward together and we can help each other.
Beautiful. Barry, thank you again for being on the show with us today, and I wish you a wonderful day.
Thank you, Rick. Thank you for having me. Have a good one.
Of course. Bye, everyone.
Bye bye.